Welcome back to the Movie Mavericks. Today I will show you an action, thriller TV drama show from 2023 titled The Last of Us. Spoilers ahead. Watch and enjoy. The Last of Us is an American post-apocalyptic drama television series created by Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann for HBO. There are 9 episodes in total, 7 of which already have aired. The 7th episode, named Left Behind, is the continuation of 6th episode. This episode begins with Joel in critical condition after suffering the stab. Joel's pretty sure he's dying, telling Ellie she needs to leave him, head north, and look for Tommy. And Ellie at least considers it. She gives a look that suggests she's steeling herself for the decision, and though she hesitates before turning the doorknob, she walks through it. The scene shifts to an extended flashback to when Ellie was a student training to be a soldier under the Federal Disaster Response Agency. Ellie is jogging her way through gym class and listening to music. Bethany took her Walkman trying to initiate a fight. When Bethany taunts Ellie by saying she doesn't fight and that the friend who does fight isn't here, Ellie responds with a punch that, "We'll soon learn." After a fight with a bully, Ellie is scolded by a Fedra officer, Captain Kwong. He hauled her in a sympathetic way and says that she's throwing away a potential future of becoming an officer. If she follows the rules, then she can be a good officer. The officer tries to tempt Ellie by praising her that there's a leader in her. Ellie tells Kwong she'd prefer to follow the officer path, though that might just be a means to an end. It gets her Walkman back and returns her to a room filled with her stuff, including the first volume of No Pun Intended, a stack of comics, some cassette tapes, a map of the moon, and posters for Inner Space and Mortal Kombat 2. It's a very Ellie living space, apart from the empty bed and bare walls on its opposite end. As she sleeps, someone sneaks through a window and puts the hand over Ellie's mouth. It's the bed's former owner, Ellie's best friend, Riley. And her return fills Ellie with a mix of delight and anger. Riley's been gone for 3 weeks, and Ellie had started to think she was dead. Instead, Riley has a revelation. She's joined the Fireflies. As a kind of apology, Riley offers Ellie the chance to come with her and have the best night of life. Ellie might be mad at her friend, but she can't turn down an opportunity like that. So they sneak out of windows and head off into the Boston night. On the way they have grim sight of a corpse of a man who's decided to take his own life with a cocktail of sleeping pills and top-shelf liquor, which they surmise must have cost him a fortune. Ellie, in typical fashion, is both fascinated and grossed out by the body. After the floor collapses beneath them, they grab the booze and go. Back on the roof, Ellie played with Riley's pistol and Riley recounts how she was recruited by the Fireflies. Ellie asks what happened. Did she start dating some Firefly dude and decided to become a terrorist? Riley jokingly says yup, but then says that one night, Ellie was in the hole and so Riley snuck out. While Riley was sneaking around, a woman in her 40s or 50s came up to her and said she was impressed with her sneaking around, and after Riley told the woman her negative opinion of Fedra, the woman said if she wanted in, she's in. She said yes, and now, she's a Firefly. Riley was in, simple as that. But they can't debate the issue all night, so they starts hopping across rooftops. Riley says there are more people, which means more apartments. Ellie says that means Fedra isn't entirely bad. Riley talks about how Fedra are fascist dickbags, and Ellie replies by asking if the Fireflies still use bombs. They stop at mall. Ellie tells her that it is an infected mall. Just as last week's episode served up spectacular cinematography, this week was no less beautiful, despite being in the confines of a dilapidated shopping center. Ellie and Riley crawl down a hole, and Riley explains that when Fedra hooked up the new apartments with electricity, the mall was connected too. Riley tells Ellie to go out a door, go right, head out another door, and to let her know when she's there. When she arrives, Riley hits the light, and Ellie gets to watch the entire abandoned mall come to light. Riley introduces Ellie to the abandoned but largely intact shopping mall, promising to show her 4 wonders. Ellie's fascinates with the electric stairs counted as the 5th wonder. She goofs around, climbing up and down with joy. As they explore, they find the mall stripped of post-apocalyptic essentials like shoes but with more frivolous items that have been left behind, like the lingerie in the windows of Victoria's Secret. Riley says her mom told her that when the outbreak happened, some stores were looted and others weren't, that people took what they needed or wanted. When Riley says she's trying to picture Ellie in a thong, they laugh it off. But then Ellie pauses to fix her hair in the shop's windows. As more wonders await, Riley says Ellie has to close her eyes and asks Ellie if she trusts her. Ellie gives Riley her hand, and a slight smile appears on Ellie's face as she's guided through the mall. Riley tells Ellie to open her eyes, presenting her with a working carousel. Riley turns it on, and the two get on, as a simple instrumental version of The Cure's Just Like Heaven plays through the carousel. They both get on horses, and Riley catches Ellie looking at her. The two friends drink and razz each other. And then, the carousel unexpectedly stops. For the moment at least, any tension about Riley's choice to join the Fireflies falls away. It doesn't last, and Riley counters Ellie's doubt with the information that the Fireflies have set things right in other cities. Ellie's suggestion to Riley return goes nowhere, in part because Riley already knows she's been assigned sewage detail. There's no changing the world when you're supervising other people shoveling shit. That's what the QZ thinks of her. Riley says she doesn't know why she didn't tell Ellie, that she just panicked and ran. The longer she was away, the harder it was to come back. Ellie says she understands, and Riley says Ellie is the only thing she misses from that place. That reveal seems to make Ellie feel a little better. Riley then says it's time to go. Next they press on, stopping first at a photo booth. They made pictures with weird and funny poses. After that they go at an even more remarkable location, a fully functioning video arcade. Ellie looks in awe at all the possibilities, but Ellie is upset that they won't be able to play any of them without coins. But Riley had already figured that out, opening a change machine that dumps out tokens. Riley says she spent an hour yesterday breaking it open for this moment. Mortal Kombat 2, a game Ellie knows all about even though she's never played it before. They entertain themselves with gruesome fatalities. The camera starts to move ominously into what appears to be an American Girl store where a dormant infected is starting to stir. Though unaware of the looming danger, Ellie notes that it's getting late and that she needs to return, but Riley's not having it. Promising Ellie a gift, Riley brings her to where she's been camping out in the back of a taco restaurant. It's also where she's stashed a treasure in the form of the second volume of No Pun Intended, the one with which Ellie's tortured Joel during their trip. Riley asks her riddles in the book, then Ellie take her turn to read and ask. But the levity doesn't last for long when Ellie spots a stash of bombs. A sobering reminder that Riley has thrown in with a group she regards as terrorists. However inclined she might be to sympathize with their point of view, this reminder not only prompts her to leave but also makes her question Riley's motives. Riley quickly assures her it was not, but the reality is even worse. Riley has been transferred to Atlanta and will be leaving tomorrow. Riley asked if Ellie could join, so they could go together, but Marlene, the lady that recruited Riley, says Ellie couldn't go. Riley reveals that tonight is her last night in Boston. Ellie takes it all in, walks closer to Riley, and asks why she brought her here. Riley says it's because she wanted to see her. Ellie replies and? To which Riley says she wanted to say goodbye. Riley says it isn't easy, but Ellie states that it is, she just did it. Ellie says goodbye and walks off, heading through the mall by herself. After taking steps to leave the mall, Ellie returns, following the sound of screams to a Halloween store, the fifth wonder of the mall, where Riley awaits and explains herself. Ellie never had a family, but Riley did, and the Fireflies, whatever their flaws, want her. But Ellie wants her, too, and can't imagine life without her, which would be a life without someone who appreciates bad puns and violent video games and dancing around in Halloween masks. When the masks come off, Ellie asks Riley to stay. She agrees without any hesitation. Ellie kisses Riley, and then Ellie immediately says, "I'm sorry," but Riley says, "For what?" The two smile and laugh, happy that they'll still have each other. Ellie asks what they do now, and Riley says they'll figure it out. But then, they hear a noise, and Riley pulls out her gun, as an infected comes after them. They both run through the Halloween store, but the infected knocks them both down. With Riley out, Ellie stabs the infected in the side as she tries to fight him off. The infected gets on top of her, but Riley hits it with a baseball bat. Ellie grabs her switchblade and stabs it in the head, taking it out for good. Ellie is overtaken by the excitement the moment caused, but Ellie doesn't realize she's been bitten. Ellie almost tries to rub off the bite mark as she screams, but even worse, Riley reveals that she's been bitten on the hand. They're both doomed. The scene shifts to Joel, shivering in the basement, back to the moment when Ellie seemingly left. But it turns out she went upstairs, desperate to find something to help Joel. Back at the mall, Ellie destroys the Halloween store out of anger and frustration. Ellie settles down and sits next to Riley, who says the way that she sees it, they have two options. They take the easy way out and shoot themselves, but Riley doesn't like option 1 and option 2 is they keep going. They don't quit, they keep going. Whether it's 2 minutes or 2 days, they can spend that time together. Riley doesn't want to give that up. Ellie asks what's option 3. Riley apologizes, as the two sit together and cry. Back in the present day, Ellie looks through the house and finds a needle and some thread in a drawer. She runs back down to Joel and holds his hand. She couldn't save Riley, she couldn't save Sam, but she can save Joel. She looks at the wound and begins to sew it shut. As Joel looks away in pain, she's found the family that Riley was talking about, and now, she'll fight to save him. The episode ends there. If you like our effort, kindly subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss our new video. Thanks.